Recovering from yesterday's preliminary final win with an early morning pool session. Peter Vardy receiving much of the attention.
Obviously the boys are very keen to play, so that's a start. But we'll spend some time tomorrow at match committee just working out how we will actually manage that during the week so that we give him every opportunity to play.
Up just as early were long queues of Crows fans waiting patiently to secure grand final tickets, desperate to see Adelaide defend their premiership. As the reigning premiers touched down on home soil last night, all players were trying to keep a lid on the euphoria that is expected to build this week. The Crows realising they are only halfway to where they want to go.
A lot of work to do yet, so we're not too overawed at the moment, so we've got a lot of work to do. Hopefully we can get another win.
Maybe Ben Marsh. Malcolm Blight may be tempted to go with a bit of extra height. Quite a few players didn't train this evening, and that list was headed by David Pittman, then Kane Johnson, Andrew McLeod, Simon Goodwin, Peter Vardy, Rod Jamieson, Peter Caven and Tony Modra. And I'd say at this stage Tony definitely won't be playing, but we'll get a better indication on Wednesday. A lot of those guys just simply rested. Now, Matthew Robran, what a superb game. Probably his best of the season. He kicked 6 goals against the Western Bulldogs. This week against North Melbourne, he faces one of his old teammates in Jason McCartney.
Yeah, I got along very well with Jason, so I stood him out here a few weeks back and he played quite well on me that night, so hopefully I can turn the tables on Saturday. I guess firstly I can't remember the last time I played well at the MCG, so I guess to play reasonably well in a final and contribute to the success of the side was pleasing, and let's hope it can continue for this week.
And Peter Vardy's heel has improved.
At this stage, what would you say, 50-50 or you a bit more?
Pretty much 100%, I think. I won't be on the track tonight. I've got to go and see a doctor tonight, and I'll train flat out on Wednesday and then see what happens Friday night.
The toss to decide which team sets foot on the MCG first. One tradition down, plenty more to come, and a busy week that culminates in football's greatest prize.
For the fans, it's the clash of the titans, the premiers of the past 2 years going head-to-head. For some players, however, Saturday's grand final will be a first. Adelaide's Mark Rasciuto and Peter Vardy hoping to erase the heartbreak of missing last year's premiership through injury.
When the siren went, we were both on the bench at the end of the game last week, and I think we just had a bit of a look at each other and just thought, yeah, we're here, so make the most of it.
Despite a bruised heel, Vardy says this time nothing will stand in his way.
Play with anything this weekend for sure. After missing out last year, I don't think there's anything that will stop me from playing.
In an ironic twist of fate, Adelaide discard Jason McCartney will now play his old side for the flag.
The guys I was with, Peter Vardy and Kane Johnson and Chad Rentoul, you know, we joked about the time how it'd be if we played against each other in the grand final, and now it's come to fruition. So that was a bit of added incentive there, but it is a grand final, so I don't think it matters who you play, really.
Brett Chandler hopes to force his way in for the Roos after missing last week's preliminary final, possibly to replace Glenn Freeborn. Despite the building excitement, Crows coach Malcolm Blight says years of grand final experience will help him remain low-key.
I don't feel any different, actually. I think most people thought that last year too. In fact, I think this is my 10th grand final. I think I've been relaxed in every one of them. Just haven't won every one or played very well in some.
Well, the Crows are under no illusions as to what it takes to win back-to-back premierships. Earlier today, Rod Popplestone caught up with Crows skipper Mark Bickley after training.
Mark, a premiership captain already, but another big challenge ahead of you.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. I suppose it's where you want to be in the last week in September is playing on the MCG, and you know we've really given ourselves every chance now, so it's all about a week of preparation and focus and hopefully maintaining the form that we showed on the weekend.
And a big challenge too, a side that you haven't knocked off for a couple of years now, but you've been close.
Yeah, that's right. You know, they're probably well regarded as the best team in the AFL at the moment, and they play a very hard, tough, uncompromising style of game, so it does really propose a challenge to us and one we're looking forward to. And as you mentioned, being close probably 3 or 4 times, and within a kick or two, let's hope this time we can just get over them.
You do match up pretty well, and it's only a matter of time before you do get over them. No better time than this week, of course.
Well, let's hope so. Like I said, we match up pretty well. There's a few key contests on the ground that are very important. Obviously the Carey, Caven duel, if that's the way it lines up, and also the ruck duel with McKernan and Wren is pretty important. So if we can get on top in those areas, I think our overall team balance is pretty good at the moment, and we've been playing like a pretty even outfit.
Your midfield last week was sensational, and they'll need to be sensational again this week.
They will. As we mentioned, the North Melbourne side is even also, and they have players like Belwyn, Stevens and even Blakey, and we're pretty hard at the footy and very tight checking. So for us to give our forwards opportunities, we have to make sure we get our hands on the ball in the midfield, and that'll be one of the key areas of the game.
Being there last year too must give you some sort of confidence in the sense that you know what to expect. I mean, there are a few different things, the grand final parade, for instance.
Yeah, things like that obviously stand you in good stead, and North Melbourne obviously playing in 96 have also had that same experience as well.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Grand final fever is really building in both capital cities at the moment. One supporter who's very keen, you met her last year, Adelaide Crow, is confident of a Crow's victory.
84-year-old Adelaide Crow, that's the name her parents gave her, knows it'll be a tough match, and she's determined to see it at the MCG.
I've made up my mind I'm going to get there. Somehow or other, I'm quite confident now we're going to win.
Even with all the pre-match excitement, there's a serious road safety message being aimed at Crow supporters driving to and from Melbourne this weekend.
We need as many over there as we can get, and the better they get over there safely, the better for us.
Some Crow supporters are feeling a bit sheepish along the southeast freeway. Others are ordering North Melbourne Roo burgers at this Christie's Beach butcher shop.
So I think it's going to be a tough game, very tough game. Well, if they win by 10, I'll do the full Monty out the front. I haven't said what time of the day, though. That's my safety valve.
Chris Warren, 7 Nightly News.
Ah, yes, you can really feel the excitement.
Final day, live and exclusive to 7. Adelaide Crows Week this week.
Welcome back. As expected, the Crows have only made one change for Saturday's grand final. The unlucky man is Chad Rintoul, who's been replaced by ruckman Ben Marsh. So this is how they'll line up for the big match. Who knows exactly what Malcolm Blight has in store for North Melbourne, but one thing's for sure, Marsh is one very happy young man. After all, it's only his first season.
Yeah, it has been pretty good. Started well and haven't really done a great deal since, but I guess I'm learning every time I go out and every time I train. It's just, I guess, a big learning curve. Well, every time I play or train, or Rennie's usually having a bit of a yak to me, and I guess you got to learn, and Terry Moore as well. You're just learning all the time. I just pick up little things here and there, aggression and just placement of my body around the ground, the way to blanket throw-ins and stuff like that. Just learning stuff like that.